Hello guys, welcome to feeding.net. In this particular session, we are going to learn how to reverse a string in C Sharp. So, to reverse a string in C Sharp, I have two approaches. The first one is the normal approach, the second one is the optimized one. The basic difference between the two is a number of times the for loop runs. So suppose we have a user input called hello and we have to reverse it like this. Okay, so let's start with the approach 1. So here let me debug as well for better understanding. So now we have an input string hello and our aim is to reverse the string. So in step 1 what we are do, we will going to convert this particular string into the character array. So we have a method called toChar array in string. If we apply on it, it will convert that particular string into the character array. So we have this character array. So here in this approach, we are going to concatenate each character from the last. So first we will pick O, then L, then E, then H. So that is basically the approach we are going to follow in this method. In next step, I retrieve the length of the array, that is 5. After that, we have created a string builder variable just to store the result of the reverse string. So now we have initiated the for loop that will going to start from the last element of the array, that is length minus 1, which is 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. That is the last index of the array. So it will start from the last O and it will going to add this to string builder variable. Then it will do I minus minus, it will come to this, then it will going to append this to string builder variable, then it will again come to 2 1 0. So that's what I explained. I start from 4, then it will 3, then 2, then 1, then 0. So in all, this for loop going to run 5 times. So that is what we are going to optimize in our next approach. But let's finish this. So here when I run this, at start it I equal to 4, then it will 3, as I told it will do I minus, it will do like I2 now, then I1, then I0. Once it is done, then it will going to print in the console. So here you can see we have the reverse of hello. So now let's move to the approach 2 and let's try to understand what optimization we are going to do. So now this is the approach 2, and as I told, the only difference in both approaches will be the number of times the for loops run. So here if you can see, that is also same. We got a hello input, then we convert into the character array, then we retrieve the length of the array. But the difference is here in the for loop. Here instead of only a single variable I have two variable I and j. So here why we need two? So here what we are basically going to do, we are basically going to swap the first element with the last one. Then in next step, the second last will going to swap will be the second element from the start, and it will going to run that way. So here if we have a hello, then what we are going to do, we are going to swap the first with the last, that is O will come at the start and H will going to last. Now in the next step, the second last we're going to swap with the second from the start. So E will become L and L will become E. Now we are left with only one element, so that will remain as it is. So let me try to explain the for loop. So here I have two variable I and j. So I equal to 0. So here I equal to 0 means we are taking the first element from the array, and j length minus 1, it means we are taking the last element from the array. And then what we are going to do, I plus plus, and we are going to do j minus minus. And so here we have I minus j. It means I should always be lesser than j. So we will also understand why we have not swapped this one. So now we have I equal to 0 and j equal to 4. That basically denotes the first and last element of the character array. Now we have taken the first element from the array and storing it into a temp variable. Then we are taking the last element from the character array and we are storing at the first place in the array, and at the last we are just copying the temp into the last position. into the array. So this is the way we are able to swap it like this. So here, as I already explained, we have H as first element, we have O as last element. What we have did, we have taken H and storing it into a temp variable. Then we are taking O, then we are storing it into in place of the first position, and then we have the H in temp variable, then storing it back to the last one. So that is basically we are doing here. So now in next step, j minus minus and I plus plus is applied. So I will become 1 from 0 and j will become 3 from 4. Now what it will going to do, it will going to pick the next element. So going to, so now in next step, since we have I plus plus and j minus minus, I will going to become 1 and j will going to become 3. So the 3, if you see in this loop, 3 is this and I1 is this. So now in next step it will going to swap this one in the same way. So now in next step I and j will going to become 2, since we have I plus plus and j minus minus and we have condition I less than j. Now this condition will not going to run, and that is the reason why we have not applied any swap on the last element. So if you can see the result, you can see again we have the same result. So using both approaches we are going to get the same result. In the end, in case you have any query, any doubt, just ping me on the comment, and I would request you to please subscribe my channel and like the videos.